What is that?
Oh, what is it?
It looks like
It looks like it's a
what?
it's a video camera. Oh no!
I'm pretty good.
They smell like baby's head.
Making me nervous.
I
You know
know.
what I mean, baby's head?
Shoes are heavy.
You know the smell of a baby's head?
Yeah.
Yes, right. That's, but, yeah, so it has the baby's head smell.
Oh.
It's widow.
Yes.
Dave, wait a minute, say hi to Keith, ready?
That's what I figured Keith.
Hi Keith, how are you?
Just in case it's between the two of us.
You get it?
Yep, yep.
Yes, good.
Yep, zooming in there. That's good.
And you know that you don't have to bring shoes.
We're talking about
Oh,
baby
there you go.
boys.
There you go.
Yes, we're all needy.
Yeah.
Deodorant.
Rugged.
So he's been,
Hair dryer, you don't need to
Are
bring.
you still collecting the dirt?
mainly had cans.
Okay, we're using all the goodies today. We got the video camera now.
Harrisburg.
Oh, okay, he's got all the
I don't know,
electronics
it's
out.
German, right?
That's what you know.
Oh, he's got a video camera.
Oh,
Boy, I feel stupid.
I want to
All of a sudden he feels stupid.
what's wrong, Kate? Oh no! Oh, I can smell it from here. Hi, Blaney. Hi, Abby. You're a good girl. There's Dave.
Make a piece smell like asparagus.
Hey, Don,
Yeah.
can you move this? I'm kind of clearing off the table because.
Hi, girls.
He's stalking me.
It's a beautiful day.
Happy Easter.
Yeah.
Yep. Standing uncomfortably close.
Ain't gonna play me. It's real easy. Donnie, come forth.
Woo!
Put it on Facebook tomorrow.
So tell us some Gary Williams stories.
Gary Williams stores what when he comes into Denny's? He orders a hamburger, medium well, without fries.
And 6 beers.
I have the best seats at every
No,
sushi
he
restaurant.
ordered, him and Bishadi ordered a bucket of ice. Did I tell you this?
I think it's starting.
One for him and one for Gary.
Katie, I think it's starting.
It was so weird. Whatever it is.
7 minutes.
Oh, for heaven's sakes!
Matchup against the Red Sox at Nats Park this
There we go, Katie.
WTOP Radio's Greg Heist also.
I'm gonna have to find some of them when you go.
Here we go.
I'm really nervous.
So far, so good.
That's what the guy,
Well,
part of graduation.
you know, when the guy jumped over
He definitely needs
off
new ones.
the Empire State Building and somebody said, how you doing? He said, so far, so good.
Till I land. Yeah. It's not like fall that kills you, it's the stop.
That's what I want.
Keith, I can't see.
This is a very somber occasion.
Katie, I think you that's your seat. Oh, she's supposed to sit here. I'm like, okay.
Feel under.
Before we begin this wonderful day, we have a couple of announcements.
Following the terrible, terrible crime in Moscow, in the Moscow subway, as well as many other terrorist attacks, we thought it would be wise to have some security. This is Donnie, aka Malcolm. He's our security guard. He has attacked his job with fervor. He will probably ask you.
Keep your fervor off me.
He will probably ask you if you are Osama bin Laden, and it's a start.
We are most fortunate to have serving as our prop person, Dr. Judy Blumenthal.
All right. Hi, Judy.
Another announcement. As you know, we've planned on recording this historic event, and then several of you have sent in a check for a copy of the transcriptions. Unfortunately, we're not sure where Ed is. He's not in the truck right now. Hopefully he will punch in and we will tape the events.
If he doesn't, then of course your money will be refunded.
In due time.
This is a solemn event.
We are the transporters.
We are family.
We transport people into the next decade of their life.
Each decade is important. It is a new adventure for each of us. Each decade is different. Different in terms of the behavior expected and the behavior required as well, as well as appropriate attitudes and values.
We are here today to transport Katie Harper into her third decade. If she will please come up and take a seat.
Here, here.
Any seat, any seat.
We should point out the symbolism and metaphors of our presentation. You'll notice the cap on representing Maryland University, where Katie attends.
Only Nancy would accessorize it.
The winter hat representing the winter that we just went through. And of course, Judy bareheaded.
And
Judy's got a fair head.
our robes, they not only depict the solemnity and the importance of the ceremony, as many issues are black and white.
Oh,
We
they had to go there.
have black and white robes. And scarf and flip-flops.
And president and vice president.
The candle represents heat and light, emotion and knowledge, and of course the flame is hot, hot, hot. A term used to describe our transportee for today.
Also notice the shoddiness of our material and how wrinkled, representing the current hard times to many of our citizens.
Yes. We will begin by reviewing some of the adventures of our transportee.
It seems appropriate when we recount some of our memories that we have of Katie. I would like to begin with a story of when Katie was about 2 or 3 years old. She was at our house and we were playing in the snow, which had happened then. And Katie had lost her mittens and her hands were cold. And I said to her, "Lost your mittens, you naughty kittens, and you shall have no wine."
Before it's time.
Wine.
For several years after that, Katie reminded me, and then she said, "I had it wrong. It wasn't that you shall have no wine."
And I remember the time she drank the whole half-gallon of buttermilk. Boy, she was sick after that. And what about the time she ate that whole funnel cake? Have you eaten another one since then? And what about the time you clipped all your toenails and pasted them on a piece of paper and sent them to Uncle Keith?
Whoa! That's a gift.
And what about that?
That's what you're getting for Christmas.
Are you a pleasant? She's a pleasant sister.
And what about that time you had that farm scene painted on your butt?
Oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Right. And what about that time? Didn't you pick up a grunny out of the toilet one time and put it on Uncle Keith's pillow?
You're not reading from a script.
Is this true?
Wasn't that her?
Might have been her.
Hey, it was you, Nanny.
Well, she told me I should.
It's her fault.
Keith, hold the camera still.
But I got scared when the babysitter came in and I dropped it on the floor. Then we ran downstairs.
You just want Keith's shirts to pick it up?
No.
They've lost their way.
And what about the time I was tucking you in one night, reading you a story, and you were laying down during the story, and I looked over at the wall, and it was speckled with lots of little debris of human matter from your nose. And I said to you, I said, "Katie, what is that?" And you very proudly pronounced, "That's my booger museum."
It's like from Ren and Stimpy.
Oh, that's right.
You were so proud of it.
Would Father Time could tell a story.
Father Time would just like to say, I forgot. I don't keep notes.
I'm sure it'll come back to you in a couple of
It'll
days.
come back to me in a couple of days, perhaps. But we haven't spent all that much time with, Father Time hasn't spent all that much time with Katie. Really.
Symbolic.
And symbolically much that time.
And Lady Gaga.
Gaga.
Ta-ta.
Oh, I guess I can only remember the Christmas we spent at Keith's house when you were there with your alligator. Bass. And how inseparable you were from Vask.
Oh, yeah.
Like basketball.
Yeah, Vask was
What
great.
happened to Vask?
He's at my dad's house.
Oh, he is. He's still there?
Yeah, we play with him in the pool.
Oh,
Ah.
great.
Yep.
All right.
Perhaps some of the people from the audience would like to recount a Katie story that is within the boundaries of good taste, of course. Contrary to what.
Why?
Never mind.
Why?
Well, I can remember visiting and Katie showed me and told me the name and the history of every 1,299 Beanie Babies.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then the next day she gave me a quiz and said, tested me on their names.
Yeah.
Here, here.
Yeah.
Yes, and that reminds me of that book of Pokemon figures that she drew. And we had to jump off the diving board and scream out their names. You don't even remember that, do you? Scream out the names of the Pokemon figures that you had drawn and contort ourselves into their various figures. Which we both did very well, I might add.
That was last year.
Here, right.
I trust Katie Ann remembers some of these stories. Is there anybody else want to say anything?
She let me paint on her scabs.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't
My
know
favorite
why.
picture. I drew, she had a nasty scab, and I drew and said, well, let me check. I helped her cover it up, and I drew Alfred E. Newman on it.
Oh,
It looked good.
It looked good.
Really I went to school like that.
They're very good.
It's on
We
my
had,
doors.
Alfred E. Newman is from Mad Magazine, and we sent them a small contribution for using their name.
We did.
Yes.
I like, who gave us that fart box? Was that Uncle Bill?
Fart bells. Probably.
Oh,
The CD?
No.
Oh.
It was a remote control that came in to fix the Comcast.
Go ahead.
To say it
Go
again
ahead.
because it's a very important point.
Okay, pronouncement.
We now enter the serious part of the ceremony.
For each decade, we have a symbol that is placed before the candidate following the taking of the oath. The transportee then steps or jumps over that symbol into the next decade. For each decade, there is a different symbol.
Oh, for 50, we use the dancing cane. Do we have that?
For the 60s, we use the regular cane.
For the 70s, we use the three-pronged cane.
And for the 80s, we use the crutch.
She's always said
For 90, we were using the gurney, but there have been some accidents as the old folks try to jump over the gurney.
But for 20, as it said, into each life some rain must fall. And with the creative group here, we have to imagine the umbrella that we use for the 20s.
I know where it is.
Where is it?
It's right here.
You got one handy?
Security.
Security.
We do have.
It's good news.
Actually,
You want this?
hey, Donnie, a lacrosse stick might be more appropriate.
Lay it down in front of
Yes.
the
I think it's
very good.
security.
Yeah. Security.
But as from the rain/tears.
Oh. Cheers.
Please stand. Raise your right hand. Please repeat after me. I state your name.
I say your name.
solemnly swear
solemnly swear
to behave in a manner
to behave in a manner
that reflects well
that reflects well
upon those in the third decade.
upon those in the third decade.
I plan to do good in
I
school
plan to do good in school
and give significant gifts
and give significant gifts
to my relatives,
to my relatives,
especially my grandfather.
especially my grandmother.
Who writes it? Now, close your eyes. And step over the umbrella, but don't do it yet.
Am I far away from it?
Step over the umbrella.
Not yet.
Ready, do it.
What's the dog?
Except for the dog.
Dog! Ow! Look out! Oh,
You're okay. Now open your eyes. Now open your eyes and look around and you'll see it's a whole different world out there. The world looks since you crossed over.
As Dorothy once said, this sure as hell ain't Kansas, is it, Toto?
Now, as we usually do, we would like to open up our vast cornucopia of gifts and good wishes from many friends. Will the talented prop lady please bring the gifts?
21 means that.
21.
A message from the president, and a picture. He said he would probably not be here as he hates to travel.
It says to Katie, thank you for your support and friendship. I hope I can continue to count on you as we work toward achieving the change our nation needs. President Barack Obama.
There you go.
Wasn't it?
Katie saw it.
From Governor O'Malley. From Governor O'Malley, who's trying to get gambling into the state, and from the casino people in Las Vegas, a lucky die and a lottery ticket.
Right.
I think it's a lucky guy.
A lucky die.
Die, I think it's a guy, I'm sorry.
Lucky guy gave it the lucky die.
Oh, yeah. All right.
From the Virginia Wine Company, a bottle of the bubbly.
Uh-oh, it's like 20, Oh, never mind.
Non-alcoholic,
Gin and juice.
I like it.
And a poster of women's basketball at the University of Maryland from your friend, Brenda Free.
Right.
I hope it was from last year, not this year.
A lot of them.
They weren't real good this year.
They look like God.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And a handy pack from your good friends at AARP. A gift that will be envied by all of your friends.
I want that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even get one of those.
You know, you put that down to 50.
Another,
Oh, I've got my membership card.
another 45 years before.
What's in it, Kate? Cigars?
Let's see.
Is your cell phone handy?
Cell phone?
Give me a cell
Can
phone.
open the cell phone.
I don't know whose it is.
I think that's Katie.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that's mine.
I won't take it. Keep it up. Weird, Mike.
And now,
Excuse me, there's a message from Ed.
yes,
He said he locked himself out of the truck,
he locked himself.
but he got in now and is ready to record all of this.
Oh, Ed.
What? We have to do it all over?
Let's think about that.
So please join us in congratulating Katie Harper as she slides into her third decade. We all wish her the best of luck in her adventures.
yay.
She's